We've been taking overland transport all around the world for the past 3 years. We've seen the good and the cripplingly bad.
And I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Today, we booked on what we thought was a simple one-way journey across a border.
Cambodia.
We had no idea it would make it into our top 3 bus experiences of all time. Good morning from the loud streets of Bangkok. We've been here for the last week catching up on work, but this morning we are traveling to a brand new country that neither of us have ever been to. A huge incentive of traveling this region of the world is just how easy it is to move between the countries. You can hop on a bus and like 8 hours later, you're in a totally different area.
As Australians, where you could drive for 8 hours and still be in the same state, this is a very big deal for us.
Today, we are catching the Giant Ibis Bus, 8 hours and 400 kilometers from Bangkok to Siem Reap in Cambodia. And we'll be finishing this video when we check into our hotel a stone's throw away from the ancient city of Angkor. We try to do land crossings wherever we can, partly because like you see a lot more of the country that you're in rather than just flying from point A to point B and missing everything. Also, to get this flight, it was an AirAsia $350 with bags, and this bus is only like $120, so saves us a lot of money as well.
Super quick seat tour before we start going.
Ladies and gentlemen, our trip will delay 5 minutes more because one more passenger still not coming, so I hope you understand that. After 5 minutes more, she or she's not coming and we will leave.
Brutal. We have a 5-minute delay because someone is late apparently. The seats are super plush, so this is a bus that is a 2-1 configuration, which means that we all have a little bit extra space. They're like nice leathery, they seem quite new. Everyone seems to have a tray table, a drink holder, and like a little, what do you call that? Like a net thing where you can store some drink bottles. There's also USB outlets between the armrests and another drink holder there. Plus, they recline so much more than I thought they would. The overhead luggage cabin is quite small, so we both have our bags by our feet, but honestly, with the amount of legroom you have, it's really not that big of a deal.
There also seems to be quite comprehensive air and light control above us.
Would you like a latte or a espresso?
Latte.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's like the best idea for a morning bus to give you a coffee. Yay! We've never had that before, I don't think, on a bus. Maybe actually Turkey, they gave us coffee. I haven't had one this morning, so I'm very excited about this.
Thank you.
Jordan actually ran to the 7-Eleven to spend the last of our time baht to buy some snacks for this journey because we didn't think we'd get anything. But a coffee and a croissant. No complaints here.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the first, my name is Supana. I am your crew attendant, and right now I would like you to fasten your seatbelt all together.
So, as Australians, we get a visa on arrival in Cambodia, which is about $30 US. I think with Ibis though, you pay a little bit more. I think it's $35 or $40 US, and you don't leave the bus.
We just sit here and they're going to take care of it. They'll take our passports, the money.
Issue is, I spent all my Thai baht, so we have to get an ATM in one of the towns we stop at and withdraw everything.
He doesn't seem stressed about that though.
He seems very calm. Yeah.
Apparently there's an ATM at one of the stops, so
Yeah.
hopefully it's got money in it.
Look, there better be. Alright, so the bus left about 10 minutes late because they were waiting on those last people to get to us, and the first stop happened at 11:20, so It's a little bit over 2 hours before there's the first stop, which is important because there are no toilets on board, so you need to be prepared for that. Also, this first stop, he's told me this is where I can withdraw some money.
There is plenty of options for eating or drinking here, including a 7-Eleven. There's also toilets. The women's section is all squatty potties, but there is a disabled toilet that had a Western bathroom. And remember to bring your own toilet paper because they generally don't have it.
Okay, so learn from our mistakes. We used the ATM, I thought there was only 2 and I tried them both. They had a minimum of 1,000, 2,000 or 5,000. Now we needed 3,000 and I was like, that's clearly the only ones here, and I withdrew 5,000. Now we have way too much, we have to suffer the exchange rate again when we go to Cambodian Rial, but on the way out I found these 2 ATMs. This one doesn't let you do 3,000, this one does. So if there's 2 of you traveling and you need ATM, come to this purple one, so don't withdraw more than you need to withdraw like us.
I know that we have one more stop for a toilet break at some point, plus the border stop. I'm not sure which one's next. I think maybe another toilet break? Because we're still quite far from the border.
There are a couple of different companies you can book this route with, but we chose Ibis Bus because these seats are probably the most plush there are on the market. You can book it on the Ibis website directly. You can also go to the Ibis Bus depot and book it in person in their little office, but we like to book things through Want2Go Asia purely for the ease of it and having like an open line of communication with someone just in case something goes wrong. To be honest, it did cost more than booking direct, but not that much more, and to me, it's completely worth it. It's a peace of mind thing. About an hour left and we'll be at immigration. So, before we get to the border, we're actually doing our visas at the consulate before we even get there. I think that makes it so much easier, but he said that this is the last place that's good to go to the toilet because at the border there's just so many people and the toilets aren't very good. Last opportunity, better take it. Also, he came around on the bus and gave us these little border passes, so I think we're getting like some sort of VIP push-through service.
I just feel very fancy. Like this is what I imagine, although I guess celebrities aren't like catching buses. This is what I imagine they feel like at the airport. You know how they get taken to like TSA security that's like different from everyone? That's what I feel like.
They also took our passports on the bus, so we don't even have to worry about carrying our passports through, and they're getting our visa on arrival now.
We should do every border crossing like this. This is my life at every border crossing. My brain is empty. I don't know where we're going or where we've been. But for Jordan, this is quite a new experience.
It feels really good.
Isn't it nice to be like the passenger princess?
Complete trust.
Yeah. Someone else is worrying about the details.
Your visa is ready. And for the visa, can stay 1 month in Cambodia.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thailand. Cambodia.
Or Colombia, as Emily was saying.
This is our
43rd country that we visited together.
Wow.
We're in.
Hot in Cambodia. We just hopped back on the bus after crossing the border to fried rice and a cold water. We should always cross borders like this.
We got to the border at like 1:20 and by 2 o'clock we were through and back on the bus ready to go. Super efficient. I don't know whether it was because of the necklaces that we were given, but it was really easy. And now it's 2 or 3 hours and we're into Siem Reap. We are at our last 10-minute stop on the Cambodian side. First one on the Cambodian side, and after this, we are at our final destination in Siem Reap.
Yay! About a half an hour and we'll be in Siem Reap.
We need to talk about this hotel, but first let's recap this bus. It was fantastic. Great Ibis. Big Ibis? Giant Ibis.
It was so good that I want to book them again because they also go to Phnom Penh and I think into Vietnam.
They do, and that's kind of where we're heading, or we're heading in that direction, so we might be booking them multiple times again.
Because I feel like I had a great day.
Yeah.
But I spent the entire day on a bus. Like, those two things should not be true at the same time.
We should be exhausted and like hurting, but we both feel like full of energy, which is just
unheard of.
like if you watch any of our other bus videos, you'll see us as zombies after. But this one, could have done that overnight, no issues.
And then we get to this hotel.
I don't want to go around shattering illusions, but as travel creators, we reach out to hotels to perhaps get a discount on a stay, to feature them in some way, or like a complimentary stay. And we were looking for hotels in Siem Reap, and we reached out to this one purely because it was just gorgeous. We got in contact with the hotel, and they reached out with an offer for us, which we accepted, of course, because it's beautiful. But what our obligations were minimal. It's nothing to do with the hotel. All the hotel wanted us to talk about in this video is sustainability and reducing the use of single-use plastic. All we wanted to highlight was that the choices that you make as a tourist on where to stay and what you're doing and how you're consuming the plastics are making a massive difference.
And that's not to say we won't mess up and we won't have plastic in the future. We're going to be more conscious of the decisions we make and what effect that has.
The passion has definitely rubbed off on us.
You know when you're talking to someone that's so passionate about what they're talking about, you can't help but get to that level with them? That's what it was like.
We are in another level of luxury here, and we understand that. Sometimes we don't stay in this level of luxury.
The room we are staying in, absolute chef's kisses. The whole property is like garden oasis.
Yeah, a spa, like two pools.
It smells amazing. The shampoo, conditioner, tea, it's all made locally. The water bottles that you get.
Full, refillable, sustainable water bottle. Like this is the kind of place that walks the talk.
Walks the walk.
Will you talk the walk, walk the talk?
No, because people only talk the talk, they don't walk the walk.
It's the kind of place with integrity that does what it says it's gonna do.
Now we're all excited, but we've got to go get cash out because we have an early morning tomorrow.